We've got a lot of Week 16 news to go over. We've got your dilemmas, your Jalen Hurts potential dilemmas. Will he even sit? We'll talk about that. We're talking about Nick Chubb, other players in the news, Ramondre Stevenson, Kenny Walker. We're taking your phone calls, answering your voicemails like we do every Monday through Friday because your boy Smitty works for you. Michael K. CPA. Danger, first two people in the building. Appreciate you. Hit that thumb up, hit that like button. The Fantasy Football Show, it begins right now.
Live from the FantasyFootballShow.com studios, it's the Fantasy Football Show. Live! Monday through Friday, 7 p.m. Eastern.
You are about to enter the Fantasy Football Show. Please stand by like a boss. Estás entrado al fantasía fútbol novelas. Espera con el patrón. Smitty is live Monday through Friday, 7 p.m. Eastern. You are about to enter the Fantasy Football Show. Please stand by like a boss. Estás entrado al fantasía fútbol novelas. Espera con el patrón. You are about to enter the Fantasy Football Show. Please stand by like a boss. Estás entrado al fantasía fútbol novelas. Espera con el patrón. You are about to enter the Fantasy Football Show. Please stand by like a boss. Estás
Live from the FantasyFootballShow.com studios, it's the Fantasy Football Show. Live! Monday through Friday, 7 p.m. Eastern.
What is going on, good people? Your boy Smitty back, regardless of how the voice box is doing. We're here to do waiver wire talk, take your phone calls, answer your fantasy questions, and do our thing here like we normally do here on the Fantasy Football Show. And of course, I'm live Monday through Friday for those of you that are new. Every single Monday through Friday, no matter what's going on with the old voice, with what's going on around the league, we don't shut it down. You know how some of these shows go, yeah, we'll be back in June. We don't take any time off. You out of your mind? This is 365, 24/7. Right here, Monday through Friday, 7 p.m. Eastern, live whenever news breaks. I'm live Tuesday, Thursday, Friday, and Saturday at midnight Eastern on top of the Monday through Friday show because we do it live. Let's get to the news.
From the FantasyFootballShow.com news desk, Here is your breaking news.
Yo. Okay, so we've got a lot to talk about. Let's start off with the two guys in the thumbnail, because I feel like that's what people sometimes are like, hey, what about the guys in the thumbnail? Let's get to it right away. Nick Chubb did not practice Tuesday. We don't really know what this is. He did say he doesn't believe it's a big deal. It wasn't like a total reassurance to me, so there's something to watch, something to monitor here. But we'll keep you posted. We should know more tomorrow and the next day. For right now, a lot of people are calling it a maintenance type day. A lot of teams didn't fully practice. There was a lot of did not practice, but then teams didn't fully practice. So tough to make a lot out of this right now, but it didn't sound like overly assuring, when he spoke about the injury, but we'll see. As of now, nothing to be too alarmed about. Just make sure you're on top of this, and I don't think Kareem Hunt's being dropped in a lot of leagues, but people are doing some weird maneuvers right now as they walk into the final weeks. Like, I don't need Kareem Hunt, I'm never going to start him, I'll cut him. So back up your boys if there's a potential to do it. Jalen Hurts did not practice today. This doesn't indicate anything good or bad, obviously. It's more of a waiting game for us. It seems very 50-50 he could play. There's some people reporting that, maybe there is a strong chance. I'm not hearing anything concrete on one side or the other. The thing you got to keep in mind here with Jalen Hurts is that the team only needs one win to do their damage and to get the number one seed throughout the entire playoffs. So they may try and do that with Gardner Minshew in week number 16. And then if that fails, and they feel worried about doing it again in week 17, trying to repeat what they attempted to do in week 16 with Gardner Minshew, they can put Jalen back in, win the game, then sit Jalen in week 18. There's a lot of different ways this can go. I will say this, though. The playoffs are more important than these three games to the Eagles, assuming they win one of these three games. So that's going to be their mindset. Will they try and win the game, then sit them in week 17 and 18, or sit him half of week 17 and sit him 18? We don't know. It's tough to know. If anything, it's just going to be a wait and see, and hold Minshew if you have Jalen. It's kind of the safest approach for you. I think given that most people are out of the fantasy football running in your league, it comes down to a couple of you that are vying for a quarterback play unless someone wants to block you. So you shouldn't have a problem getting Gardner Minshew if he's out there, unless your opponent is that crafty and that conniving that they'll go out there. Hey, all's fair in fantasy football. You should have had a backup plan. Take a lap for anybody that didn't have a strong backup plan at quarterback walking in. I'm sorry. But I am here to help you if you did that. But Gardner Minshew is one of the top pickups. Let's head over to the waiver wire screen, because I just dropped this waiver wire video. We just did the week number 16 waiver wire video. I left the quarterbacks off because I got a separate slide for that. But Allgeier's the number one waiver wire running back to add walking into week number 16. Of course, McKinnon. Let's just say it. If you're in a grandma league and McKinnon's out there, you didn't listen to the waiver wire video last week where we had McKinnon number one, and you didn't listen the week before where we had McKinnon on the list, and the week before. Take a lap on that occasion as well. But Tyler Allgeier, assuming McKinnon's gone and you don't play in a grandma league, Tyler Allgeier is the top pickup of the week. It's not Zach Moss. It's not Deion Jackson. It's not the two RBs that you don't know which one's starting for their team in week number 16, the Indianapolis Colts, for a team that didn't even make JT an amazing running back the last couple of weeks. What makes anybody think that Zach Moss or Deion Jackson, probably still sharing at some capacity, even if they do lean on one over the other, what makes anybody think this running back's going to outplay what JT was doing before he got his second injury and disappointing situation unfolding there last week? What makes anybody think Zach Moss and Deion Jackson are going to save you? My thinking's this: if Tyler Allgeier's there, you don't even hesitate. I don't care if you had JT. You don't hesitate. Why? Because the Falcons are in future mode. They have Ritter in there now. They turned to Ritter. They're testing out that rapport and building it between Drake London and Ritter. They want to see what they got in Tyler Allgeier. Do they have something? Do they not? And then also on top of that, Tyler Algier, there's always one or two guys that blow up in the final 2 weeks of the fantasy football season. They just blow up and you don't know what to make of them walking into the next year. You're like, week 17 and 18, they went crazy. Week 18, you can't even really look at because that's not a week we play, but it confuses you. You're like week 17, week 18, 150 yards, 100 yards, and then week 16, 100 yards. 3 straight 100-yard games, nothing to show for in front of that. What do we do with this player? There's always 1, 2, 3 players. And Tyler Algier, he fits the bill for being one of those confusing, strong finishers where you're like, what's going on? And so he's the top pickup of the week. Zach Moss, Deion Jackson, which one do you grab? I'm going to be asked that question 10,000 times probably on this very episode and probably all week long. And let me give you the skinny on it, at least in my mind. No one knows. We can make up a bunch of stuff. Analysts are making stuff up all around. Oh, but Deion got Zach Moss got 67% of the touches or snaps when once the JT went out but then again you could ask yourself about game scripting where they just running Moss out there. Deion Jackson fumbled the ball. Was it a one game type discipline situation and they revert back? Remember when Melvin Gordon got benched after fumbling the ball, and then they went back to him, and then they took him out. We don't know what the thinking and the coaching staff's going to do. And the bottom line is Deion Jackson has the pass protecting experience, the receiving experience, the 10 reception game earlier. We've seen him on the field, so we're not sure. No one knows. All I can tell you is that the hype for Zach Moss is increasing. So what I said a couple days ago or a day and a half ago, where I said maybe you go get Deion Jackson with less people fighting for waiver claims because so many people are falling out of your league, right? Because the playoffs are advancing. You might be able to land Deion Jackson, then get Zach Moss after that in the second wave of your claim. But now it may be that you need to grab Zach Moss first and Deion Jackson second because the hype around the industry is that Zach Moss is the guy. And he very well could be, but I'm not going to pretend to know based on a 67% usage versus Deion Jackson when the game was crazy and out of hand and we don't really know what that means. I can pretend I know what it means, but I don't know what it means. Zach Moss is probably, if I had to guess, the better option given the usage, but be cautious and try and grab both if you can to avoid any kind of situation. Alexander Madison, Zamir White, Jordan Mason's probably, he sticks out like a sore thumb on this entire list because he's 1 degree of separation of absolute explosion. Chuba Hubbard, Khalil Herbert came back from IR. Jalen Warren was active last week. Joshua Kelly, Gus Edwards, Taysom Hill, Jeff Driscoll, Okonkwo. It needs to be added to that list if he's available in your league. He shouldn't be at this point, so I didn't put him on this list. KJ Osborne, not available in an extraordinary amount of leagues, but enough that I felt like we needed to throw him on the board here. He'll be the top pickup of the week, the monster 100-yard game. They're going to keep going to him as long as he's healthy. Traylon Burks, Jamison Williams will show flashes. Maybe he'll have that one big game. I don't know what week it will be. Isaiah McKenzie, Shaheed, those are your guys. And then we go to the different. This is for quarterbacks only situation. It's look. If you're starting some kind of backup quarterback you're picking up or you're just trying to back up your guy, fine. Davis Mills, a very deep grab. Danny Dimes, I don't like it, but you need to grab somebody, sure. But if you can get yourself a little bit better quarterback situation, especially if you've lost Jalen Hurts and you didn't plan ahead, it's Brock Purdy, Gardner Minshew, Goff, if he's out there. And if you're talking about Danny Dimes and such starting for you, I'm not saying you can't win it, but you're in a bad spot. Like if you were in contention to win and you're looking at those guys and you don't at least have these guys, you're in some trouble. Brock Purdy, probably the better answer, 1-for-1 in a vacuum over Gardner Minshew, in my opinion, given the weapons, given the offense, given the defense that will support the offense and cascade back and forth and put Brock Purdy in scoring position. This guy will live in the red zone. Not that Gardner Minshew can't. We just haven't seen him for a little while. We want to see him out there doing it. And I believe in him in 1 or 2 or 3 game stretch, similar to Fitzpatrick. Fitzpatrick could come in and play 2 or 3 or 4 amazing games in a row. He could have an absolute amazing stretch, but then he'd die out. He couldn't go 16 games, couldn't go 11 plus games. That was Ryan Fitzpatrick. Minshew's in the same vein. He's the same type of player, and I really, really, really like Gardner Minshew for 1, 2, maybe 3 games. The difference here is that you don't, if you have to grab one guy, let's say, and you own Jalen Hurts, it makes sense to grab Gardner because no matter what, you're going to feel like you have it covered no matter what. Not saying that the Niners situation is you're going to be put in a position where Brock Purdy's getting benched, but what if they're up huge and they want to protect their investment? They don't want to continue. Let's say Kyle Shanahan has an idea. Hey, let's not ruin my other quarterback. Let's not, not that he had anything to do with Jimmy G's real injury, but he did with Trey Lance, in my opinion. You can at me all you want, but hey, let me protect my third and only quarterback, our savior for the playoff run here. And if we're up big, pull him. So there's reasons to say, hey, Purdy's better, but it depends on your preference. It depends on if you actually have Jalen Hurts. I wouldn't be opposed to starting Brock if you had Jalen. I just wanted to give you both options, and both options are very good. Both offenses are fire. Both defenses are good. Both situations are amazing. And the only thing about Gardner Minshew and Hurts is, again, you're kind of protected in terms of knowing you have the starter each week. Okay. However, I will say you do have the dilemma of, if they get up big, they'll throw Gardner in. So you don't know. This is kind of a crapshoot as to who's going to be better and outperform the other. That's the Jalen Hurts news that we mingled the waiver wire, an extra waiver wire show into the show. So there you go. I see a couple of super chats. I'm going to get to those in 1 second. I'm going to get to the news real quick, and then I got a $20 hauler. I gotta find the money gun and empty the clip on that one. Ramondre Stevenson ankle was limited in Tuesday's practice. Let's monitor this. I'm not too concerned because of what this guy was able to do in week number 15. Absolute monster. Unbelievable. Unbelievable performance out of Ramondre Stevenson. What a monster. He's a must start in week number 16 unless we're told he's not playing. Dallas Goedert activated from the 53-man roster. That's excellent news for Gardner Minshew if he does go out there to play football. The Bears designated running back Khalil Herbert to return from IR. Again, he's a stash at this point because Monty is looking good. With 2 weeks left, there's not anything crazy you can expect, but if you need an RB, you got some spots to burn. He's not a bad grab. Matthew Stafford said that he's not retiring. We'll see how that unfolds in the offseason. We got Duvernay left practice today with a foot injury. There's concern it could be significant. There might even be an update on that one. Your boy Smitty was doing a couple things before he came on, so I don't know if that news got updated. Kenny Pickett has been cleared from the concussion protocol and is in line to start against the Raiders. Ron Navy, get excited. I sent him a DM as soon as that news broke. He was amped, to say the least. Michigan running back. Look, Blake Corum is a good running back prospect, a real good rookie running back prospect. Some would argue is up there in the same, maybe below the Bijan Robinson tier, but in that tier. I'm not saying that I have him even number 2. We'll go and get into that once we know he's declared. He said he's actually 50-50. He said he's not even close to deciding yet. He's got until January to make a decision. I believe it's like January 16th or January 12th or something like that. Does anybody know the date on that? He's got to declare whether he's entering the NFL draft or not. He said he's not even close. He hasn't really even been thinking about it, which is crazy to say. I don't know if I believe that or buy that. How could you not be thinking about it? But he's 50-50, he said, whether he's going to return to Michigan and play football again at the college level for one more year. I think this would be a mistake if he did it because, you got to stay healthy. He's got an injury right now that he's dealing with. You got to stay healthy in order to gain that value. One injured year, one bad year, and he could plummet his draft stock. Then again, you're going into one of the most competitive draft classes at the running back position you've seen in a long time. So it is a catch-22, but you do put another year of mileage on the tires in college. So there's pros and cons. I mean, if he did stay, there is an argument to be made. I could definitely argue both sides of whether staying or coming out in this class would be a good idea. But Corum is one of the top, you could say 2 to 4 because there are literally 4 running backs. And Gibbs, we'll talk about them all. Of course, Bijan Robinson's number 1, and he's my number 1 dynasty fantasy football running back overall, Bijan Robinson. All the veterans included. Over every running back currently in the NFL, Bijan Robinson is my number 1 dynasty fantasy football player walking into 2023 and beyond. So Quorum's not going to bump him out, but some people think this guy's 2 to 3 on the running back rankings, and I agree he's right in the mix. We'll have to break it down once we know he's declaring or not declaring, so hang tight on that one. We got this Jalen Hurts update after that other piece of news I showed you. Eagles coach Nick Sirianni said Hurts shoulder and Gardner Minshew would both prepare to play week number 16. We're going to have a plan for both guys to play. Sirianni told reporters Tuesday, a day after news broke that Hurts suffered a shoulder injury that could keep him sidelined for the next week or two. I don't put anything past Jalen Hurts. So there's definitely, like I said, a 50-50 chance. People took this report and started putting their own spin on it, and then before I knew it, I was getting DMs. Smitty, did you hear he's going to play? No, everybody needs to calm down. He's still 50-50 to play. Again, the Eagles only have to win 1 game, so they're going to keep all of that in mind as they look at the shoulder, and if it looks risky at all, they won't throw him out there. If it doesn't look risky, they will. Remember, this is his throwing shoulder. This is not like Fields where it's his non-throwing shoulder. And Hurts runs so much that it's a concern. No practice today for Seahawks running back Ken Walker due to the ankle injury, but this appears to be everything that I'm hearing from people very close to the situation, that there's no way to really tell what this means because of the way that there was no practice today. That Walker is probably just looking like he's taking a maintenance day. So we'll know more tomorrow. I wouldn't make much out of that. Again, Jonathan Taylor was placed on injured reserve, officially ending his season. He is out for the year officially. We didn't have that official word until today. And Robert Saleh makes it official, saying Mike White won't be cleared for contact. I told you this would happen yesterday. They want to do everything in their power to give Zach Wilson 1 more chance or 2 more chances or whatever, to keep the momentum going, because if they take him out, it will completely crush him. And they're willing to risk it 1 more go, however long this go is, before they put Mike White back in, because this is the opportunity. This is the opportunity for Zach Wilson to take destiny into his hands, and they want to see if he can do it. And I don't think it's good news for Garrett Wilson or the entire Jets fantasy football outcome as a whole. So that is your news. Appreciate everybody that came in for that piece, that segment. Let's get to the super chats. We do got a $20 hauler on screen here. This one's from Hendrickson. Hendrickson, you monster, you dropping that $20 hauler, bro. Appreciate you. Oh God, I dropped the Benjamins all over. Hold on. Oh God. I just made an oopsie, Hendrickson. Hendrickson, appreciate you, buddy boy.
Mashed potatoes.
Hendrickson in the house with a $20 hauler. Hendrickson, appreciate you. My boy Hendrickson dropping this wad on screen. And Hendrickson says as follows: Smitty, sup, I need to take a lap. I didn't take your advice and I benched Saquon to flex Olave, and Watson also played the matchup and started Herbert versus Tennessee over Cousins. Oh, bro. Round 1 exit. It's okay. Thanks for the advice. See you next year. Hendrickson, don't leave though. This is what I wanted to very, very much emphasize to people. Hendrickson, are you still here? Hopefully Hendrickson's still here. I want to make this really clear to everybody. Hold on, I gotta put something down the hatch because my throat's drying out. Hendrickson, I want to make sure you're here real quick. We are a year-round show. We are an entertainment show. We are not just a fantasy show where you pack up and leave. And Hendrickson, I know you might need a break. I know everybody's mind gets all crazy, and sometimes people don't need a break. Sometimes people just need a day. Sometimes people need a week. But I want everybody to understand that during the season, we're a little more heavy fantasy football start bench question related. During the off season, we get very much into the news and in the weeds of the NFL. And I want to make sure everybody understands that this is like a McAfee show, where you're going to come here every day. You're going to want to come here every day and get your sports fix here, your NFL fix. We don't just talk about just fantasy football. It gets really heavy during weeks 1 through 17. with start bench questions. I understand that. But I promise you this, if you leave and don't hang out all year for the entertainment value, the phone calls, the NFL talk, the trade rumors, the dynasty discussions, you're not going to get a real good sense of what this show is all about. So please understand that, and don't just think you're going to pack up and leave. You know, this is a sports show. It's not just a fantasy show. And part of me regrets naming it the Fantasy Football Show, because people oftentimes think that that's all I do. And they don't think we cover the NFL from a very, very big perspective, and it's all year long. It's an NFL show. I've even had thoughts of, like, what do I rename it? Because I don't want to be held in a box that we're just a fantasy show. We're not. Speak up, Smitty. I can't hear you. I'm sorry, Ron Navy. Hopefully you can hear me okay, guys. I know I'm a little raspy, but this is your boy trying to push through. I have like one octave left, maybe. Hopkins with third string QB or Mike Evans in my money league. P.S. Defeated Smitty in the first round of the Michael K. CPA league. Attaboy, Michael K. Who did I have in that league? Let's go look. I don't even remember. I have so many leagues here, Michael. Hold on. I'm sure you did beat me. I'm sure. Did I even set my lineup? Did I even have time to set my lineup? Michael K. Hold on. Who'd I have? Herbert, Kenneth Walker, Lamb. Who'd I have go out? Breece Hall. This is my Breece Hall league. No excuses. You beat me fair and square. I did pretty decent trying to fill in that spot for Breece Hall, but I just couldn't get it done. Michael K, congrats on that win. Michael K, CPA. I've been the first in the building for the last couple days. If we didn't lose Javonte Williams and Breece Hall, does everybody here really understand that we would have dominated? The majority of everybody here would have dominated like 80% or 90% of their leagues, like dominated, not just one, dominated. If we kept both of them healthy, and if we kept one of them healthy, all of you would have won 90% of your leagues. Maybe you wouldn't have smashed everybody, you would have won it. And it's like, it's crazy. Like, pat yourselves on the back for having the team that you had, and it was uncontrollable. Nobody knew what was going to happen to Breece Hall and Javonte Williams. Those were ACL injuries. Those were not, they're injury-prone players, and they suffer the same injury every single year or something. That was something that no one could see coming, so pat yourselves on the back. This one here from Emil. Emil says, Hola, Smitty. I'm in the semifinal in both my leagues, and one of them hurts is my QB waiver wire are T-Law, Goff, Rodgers, Wilson, Purdy, and Carr. T-Law, Emil, go grab them now. You probably won't land them, because even if somebody didn't lose a quarterback, they know to grab T-Law to block you from getting them. Next in line would probably be Purdy, bro. And then maybe Goff, maybe Goff at that point. Thank you for the super chat. But man, how's T-Law still out on the waiver wire, bro? That's crazy to me. Smitty, check your IG DMs. Thank you, Rock Out. I will. Appreciate you. Cylon with the super chat. Choose one to sit: Walker, ETN, Waddle, or Godwin. I probably sit. I think we need to wait later in the week, but for now, if I'm choosing a player to sit, I suppose of this crew right here, it's either going to be it's going to probably be Godwin, assuming Waddle's not suffering some, effects of an injury or something like that coming off that monster game he had. Just monitor his leg. ETN on a Thursday may be somebody we contemplate for Godwin, but we'll play that by ear. For now, I'd probably sit Godwin for just right now, and it's hard to say, but you got a lot of great options there, so I don't think it's crazy to sit ETN or Godwin in your situation. Let's open up the phone lines. Appreciate everybody being here. Jalen Hurts injured. Bijan Robinson declares for the NFL draft. I didn't change this headline when I started my news show, but my mind's not all there. But that's still relevant information too. Bijan Robinson is going to be an absolute monster. I'm so excited for this kid and what he's going to bring to the fantasy football realm. And it just looks like LaDainian Tomlinson meets, I don't know, the combination of Lev Bell, Kenneth Walker, hesitation and jump cutting and smoothness. And the one word I describe the man is smooth. Smooth operator. 250 of you in here, only 78 thumbs up. Please punch that thumb up button on your way in the door. Let's open up the phone line.
Call into the show. Call into the show.
Dial into the show, everybody. Appreciate everybody being here. Dial into the show. T-Law or Dak? T-Law, bro. T-Law is the answer. T-Law is such a monster. You could argue T-Law is a top for 6 quarterback, my broski. You could argue he's a top 6 quarterback. You honestly could. Top 5 to 7, anywhere in that range. Rock out, you're live on the Fantasy Football Show. I'm checking my DMs right now, bro. Give me 1 second. Okay, Rock out, what's up?
Had a tough matchup the other day. Ended up in a tie and lost tiebreaker.
Oh, bro. What was the tiebreaker? Who beat who?
I think it was like head-to-head or something.
Yeah, I'm sorry, bro. Is that what you wanted to show me?
Yeah.
Man, that sucks. 125.6 to 125.6. You guys should go to 1 digit out on the decimal scoring. That's crazy, man. That's absolutely insane. You got any? What other leagues do you have, bro?
Also got but I'm still in this standard league I'm in.
Yeah.
Let me see.
Gardner Minshew or Sam Darnold? Gardner Minshew, bro. Let me ask you a question, Bishop, and I'm not trying to be like smart or anything, even though this is going to come off that way, but where was it right here? Like when I talked about this, I don't know if you're just joining, but I talked about this segment at the top of the show, so you might want to go back and watch it if you missed it, but you didn't hear me talk about Sam Darnold anywhere near this conversation. So clearly my answer is Sam Darnold's nowhere to be found in my fantasy football roster, so definitely not a good option. Go ahead, Rock out. What you got?
Yeah, my standard league. Would you go Knight or Zay Jones in a standard flex?
Zay by a mile, bro. First of all, Knight got hurt, and we don't even know like what his status is. Number 2, Zay Jones is a must start. Like that's near take a lap worthy. Yeah. Rock out, near take a lap worthy, my guy. Zay's on fire. You can't sit him. Hey, not only did he ball out last week, but he's been, I believe, the most targeted receiver over a long string of games. It isn't like 3 games. I don't know what the exact number is anymore, if it's like 6, 7, 8, or whatever the game number is, if anybody has that data. But Zay's like the most targeted wide receiver, one of the most targeted wide receivers in the NFL, period. There's just no reason to sit him whatsoever, bro.
Yeah, unfortunately, I sat him for Brian Robinson in my other league.
Yeah, I mean, at the time it wasn't the craziest thing, but he because he had crapped the bed the week prior, so just move on. There are a couple players that everybody must start, unless you have like an absolute stud in front of these players. But like Trevor Lawrence, if you're in a super flex and you're lucky enough, or if you have a bad quarterback situation, you got T Law. But McKinnon, Zay Jones, and T Law, these are becoming must-start players. So for everybody that's going to ask me these questions all day long today, should I start Zay or should I start, no offense, Rock out, should I start Zay Jones or should I start some okay player? The answer is Zay. I'm going to tell you right now. Should I start T Law or go with Watson, Deshaun Watson? The answer is T Law. Should I start McKinnon? Why do I spell it like that? What's wrong with my mind? Should I start McKinnon, Smitty? Or should I start, like Knight? Or should I start, Monty or McKinnon or whatever? Even though Monty had a good game, it's McKinnon. The answer is McKinnon. He's the number 1 running back for 2 straight weeks. He's a weapon. They've weaponized him. He's McKinnon. His name's McKinnon. From now on, when you have 2 good weeks in a row, we call it the McKinnon. Okay? New rule here on the show. You do something twice in a row, it's called a McKinnon. Does everybody understand going forward? Okay. Just making sure. Bryce Long wants to know if I'm sick. Bryce, where have you been? I've been sick for several shows in a row. Way to prove your absence lately, Bryce. I mean, just way to prove you've been stepping out on the show with the side piece show because you haven't been here long enough to know I've been rolling sick for a while, Bryce. I got one octave here, Bryce. Bryce stepping out on us, bro. Okay, hold on, rock out, hang right there, and think of another question. The next caller on the line, you're the only other caller. I don't know who you are. Please state your name and your purpose. Let's go.
Hey, Smitty.
Oh, it's the Voss, baby. Right when I need a voice the most, the Voss calls in. This is the announcer of the show, the mystery man of the show. No one will ever know who he is, but this is the Voss calling in. Voss, what can we do for you?
Hey, first and foremost, Smitty, I got to give you some praise, some accolades. Congratulations on making it to the championship round in the dynasty over there on Sleeper. You had a hell of a lineup, man.
Oh, thanks.
That's the first thing. Second thing, I want to congratulate you on building this channel the way you have. Taking it from where it started to where it is now, 300-400 people in here. And I want everybody within the sound of my voice to hit that thumbs up button and show Smitty some love. This guy is on injured reserve right now and still doing shows. Come on.
Yeah, the Voss. I love when the Voss, why don't you call in more? The people are going to love you. The chat has catching up. We're like 10, 15 second delay. But we need to hear from you more. This is the announcer at the beginning of the show. Let me play it so people understand if anybody's like, wait, what is he talking about? Listen to this.
Live from the FantasyFootballShow.com studios. It's the Fantasy Football Show.
Fantasy Football Show. Live.
That's our guy right there, the Voss. Hey, the Voss, what else, bro? What else you got on your mind in terms of fantasy football? Like, what do you think about this Jalen Hurts situation? Who hurt you the most? Who helped you the most? What have you been thinking on?
Well, who hurt me the most, really? Because I listen to you, I'm ahead of my competition, so I'm not hurting. But I would love to see Hurts sit out a week if he needs to. There's no heroes. I mean, they're, 13-1, 14-1? Whatever the record is right now, they got it. If he's hurt, but only he knows whether he can play or not.
Yeah. It's
not a money thing. He's going for the money, but gee whiz, Dallas, I tell you what, Dallas's defense, they would love to put this guy out. He's a divisional foe. They hate playing each other. It's going to be a crazy game. And somebody would just land on him right on that shoulder. That's the way guys are tackling now.
Hey,
intentionally.
Yeah, you know what else I thought about too?
Yes,
what else I thought about too is that, like, what if he ends up playing this game, they win the one game because the Eagles only need to win one game, then they sit him 2 games and you lose him for the championship game. What if they sit him this week, Minshew loses, even if he plays well, and then they bring Hurts back for next week to not play any games and make sure they have 2 games to work to wiggle room to win that game, and then you get him for the championship game when you wouldn't have if he played this week. So, you never know. Fantasy Fates could take care of you if he actually sat a week. So we'll see on that one. Who burned you the most, or who burned the fantasy football? Give me your biggest bust and your biggest sleeper of 2022 breakout. So biggest bust, was it JT? Was it Najee? Was it who was it?
Oh, it was Denver. It was Williams.
Yeah.
Devontae Williams, whatever his name is, Williams.
Yeah.
He got hurt, Javonte.
Yeah.
He got hurt. And what can you do? I had him on a couple of teams. It was Javonte to the moon.
Yeah.
And beyond.
Yeah.
He got hurt. What can you do?
I wish it went a different way, but that's the way football is. And that's why we prepared so much with the Moon Men list, which, still has some ballers on it. I know people like to say, the Moon Men list died. The Moon Man list didn't die. It's still strong. We got Tony Pollard. He could bounce back this week. We got Walker. You back yourself up in a good way and you can survive. Like I got one league where I lost Brees Hall, Javante, and I forget which other big name. I got so many leagues, other big name running back, and I still had Pollard. I had McKinnon, and this week, even though Pollard didn't do well, that team still did very well, and I still feel very confident at running back. So we're gonna make a hardcore focus on landing those guys again year after year. That's always a big thing of mine. Stacking running backs, building a running back room, building a running back store that I call it on the bench, where you just have a plethora of running backs. Take a couple extra stabs at RBs while other people draft wide receiver 4s and 3s. I don't care about. Making sure you get that Tony Pollard, making sure you get that. A.J. Dillon didn't work out. I mean, he's looked good this last game, but him and Pollard were both in the same vein. They're both potential league winners. Sometimes they'll land, sometimes they won't. But when they land, bro, you win a league. When they land, they save you your league if a big name player goes down. So I'm also going to be focusing a lot on wide receiver drafting. Not forcing wide receiver drafting, but more so realizing the best player available will be wide receiver, or wide receiver running back, or maybe even wide receiver quarterback running back this year. But people that are against early quarterback, it still baffles my mind that they don't see the value in a quarter. I don't care if we got Jalen Hurts and Burrow in round 6 and 7. That was one of the bigger pushes I had of all fantasy football, coming from an early quarterback supporter. But the changing of the guards happening, and those quarterbacks won't be a dime a dozen in the 6th, 5th, and 7th rounds in 2023. Those guys are moving up. The changing of the guards happening. You might have a Trevor Lawrence lingering in where Lamar might have went. Or Kyler. You might have a potential quarterback or two, but it's not going to be Burrow and Hurts sitting around 6, 7 anymore. It's just not going to be the case anymore. Not anymore. There you go.
Exactly. And also, Smitty, I got to pay you a compliment real quick. I want to say that this man, Smitty, has opened up this fantasy football to the world. It's not just a guy thing. You got females that are getting heavy, and I mean heavy, involved in this fantasy football, and they're loving it. And they're damn good opponents. So, Smitty, to the moon. Congratulations. Much success to this show. Keep it going. You know it's going to be on the top.
Yeah. Hey, the Voss, you're not going anywhere. Yeah. Hang tight for a little while. We'll answer some calls and get you in the mix here. All right, so just hang tight. Unless you got to go.
I can hang out a little bit.
Yeah, unless you got to go. I would prefer you call in. Good. I'd prefer you call in at least once every other show, bros, to get on here and help. Ron Navy's on the line. Ron Navy, what's up?
Yo, what's up, man? You got an iconic voice. Let me tell you that.
Hey, I appreciate it.
Yeah.
Appreciate it, Ron Navy. And thank you for your service, too, sir.
Yeah, the Voss, bro. The Voss is the best.
I heard the voice, and I'm like, that sounds so familiar. And it's like, oh, that's Smitty's intro.
Yeah, this is the Voss, baby. We call him the Voss, the voice. So, Ron, what did you who was your biggest bust this year? Like, and I don't mean like injury, but like who disappointed in a major way that lost leagues? Maybe not your leagues, or it doesn't have to be your situation, but who was the biggest bust, and are you going near him next year?
The biggest bust? Oh
yeah.
God, there's like so many, but biggest disappointment I think would be, I'd almost have to say Pickens, because I expected a lot more out of him.
Ron goes straight for the Steelers. Ron, we're all on the edge of our seats waiting for you to name a top 8 overall pick, at least top 10 overall pick. You throw Pickens out there.
Okay, you want to know the biggest disappointment for me? It was Trey Lance, because I picked him up all over the place, and he didn't even get going at all, and I lost him in all my leagues.
Yeah, I missed on that, but
Trey Lance.
I'll stand by that. I think he would have been amazing, but Shanahan. I'm not banking on Shanahan anymore. Like, there's only so much faith I'm going to put in Purdy too. I love Purdy, and I think he is the real deal. I don't trust Shanahan. I don't trust him. So that was a big one. Kyle Pitts was one. JT had to be probably the biggest one because he was the number 1 overall pick, and he essentially busted more than anybody could. Not only did he get injured, but he came back busted. He came back, played well for a little stint, but then played bad and still bust. He had to have been the biggest bust. The question is, I want everybody to throw out a number quickly. What draft slot? So 2.1, 2.5, 2.8. So second round 8 pick. I'll start with the Voss. What pick do you draft JT comfortably next year? Throw out a number, Voss.
I tell you, that's going to be tough. It all depends on his rehab. And it's, you got Bijan Robinson coming out. You got a lot of rookies. I don't know. I really don't know. That offense, they got to get a quarterback. The Colts have so many problems.
Yeah. So
throw
out a number.
It's scary. I'd probably still take him in the first round.
Okay, well that's higher than
first round.
That's higher than I thought. Ron, throw out a draft slot, Ron, without thinking. Jack can do it.
Feel at the end of the first or somewhere in the second.
Yeah, I'd say like in the second for me. Mainly because if you think about all the big names we got, let's toss them out. You got does everybody think CMC is going to go number 1 overall in redraft 2023? Like who's number 1 overall?
I would say CMC is a strong candidate for that 1.1, Smitty.
Yeah.
The guy is phenomenal. On a better team like this team that he's on now, regardless of the quarterback, this kid Purdy is he's a gunslinger. He has heart, and that's what you want.
Guys,
you want a guy that's not afraid to.
Yeah, guys, drop. This is redraft talk right here. Drop your top players 1, 2, 3. Who's going number 1? Who's going number 2? Who's going number 3? Let's put CMC. Or there's a lot of JJ votes. You guys okay with JJ 1 and CMC 2?
JJ.
Justin Jefferson.
JJ solid.
Okay, we'll put JJ 1
Definitely.
because the chat is saying it, but we'll put CMC 2. Who's number 3? Who's the number 3 overall pick next year in redraft 2023? Jordan says Cup.
You're saying JJ number 1.
That's what the chat
CMC
said.
CMC number 2.
Yeah. So who's going number 3?
Let's see. Who would be 3? Damn. That's
Vote in the chat.
And I
It's almost like you said, Benny. I would put Josh Allen up there also, man. This guy has like 500-600 points depending on the scoring.
I don't think he's going to go that high, and I think he will start going higher and higher, and I'm going to push for it, but I don't know that he's going to go that high. But like the crazy part, you're not off base by thinking that way. Like you got to go off the ADP, but like if you do a best ball draft or you do a midseason draft, the quarterbacks go in the first round. It's so weird when we get to the offseason, but you kind of got to take advantage of it because you could literally trade down to the 12 pick. And if you want to go early quarterback, you could get your quarterback at 12. You could pretty much get whoever you want. We got a Hill vote, a Chubb vote, a Tyreek Hill, Bijan. Bijan's going to be high for me. I'm going to force him into this ranking high. But I don't think the consensus will have him at 3 in a redraft, but I think he could definitely earn it. Do you guys like Cup here? Do you like, some are saying Adams because it's redraft. Some are saying Kelsey. Some are saying Hill. Some are saying Cooper Kupp. Jamar Chase, a lot of Jamar Chase votes. Kelsey, another Kelsey vote. Kelsey's going to be a year older, but I mean, he's still doing it. He's still doing it. Is it Jamar Chase?
You could put Chase in there, Smitty, without a doubt. Chase is.
You still got to give up respect, even though you got to figure. But LA is going to be a big question because they got salary cap issues, and they're going to have to get rid of people, and so how's that going to affect? Because their offensive line is atrocious.
Yeah, I'm going to put Cup here just because everyone's voted. There's a lot of Cup votes in the chat. I put Chase at number 3. So currently it's JJ, Christian McCaffrey, Jamar Chase, and Cooper Cup. I'm going off what you guys say, but I'm also kind of leaning heavy toward the chat and you guys using you guys as a tiebreaker. Does anybody think Walker or Bijan will probably be right around the 6, 7, 8 range? I'm going to force him in there. But for right now, are we going Tyreek Hill? Given his situation, it's going to be amazing. Again, like Miami Mike, he's built into that high octane, crazy passing attack that's going to still be amazing. Is Devontae Adams worthy in redraft of this spot right here? Are we going heavy wide receiver? Eckler, I'll put Eckler in here if you guys vote it, but I'm not touching him. I wouldn't touch Eckler in round 1. I won't draft Eckler in round 1. He's going to be 28 years old. There's a strong likelihood historically, just the historical data all by itself, that he cannot be a top, even really 7 or 8 running back next year, if not maybe top 10. He's going to get injured. And I know it's very, very easy to say that he's going to be an anomaly. But this is a tough, tall order for Eckler, given that he's not built necessarily to be the workhorse back that they continue to force him to be. He came into this league as a hybrid running back that got 300, 400 yards rushing, and they've been using him like a workhorse lately. He's banged up this past week. I think the injuries are going to start adding up. He's going to start missing time. Not saying that Eckler can't be amazing per start, but I think this is the year to avoid him in that top 5 or 6 overall. Let somebody else take the gamble. Not saying I wouldn't take him at the turn, but I certainly am not going to be drafting him in a place where his ADP is going to linger. What are you guys thinking right here?
I'll tell you what. At number 5, if this is the way a draft's starting out for me and I'm in the 5th spot, I'm taking either Allen or Hurts, one of the 2 quarterbacks right there. They're the best players available.
Yeah. Okay, that's a horrible take on Eckler. I mean, call in, Mike. Call into the show. I'm not trying to. Let's debate it. Tell me what it is that makes you think he's going to defy all historical data. 28 years old, bro. Dial into the show. The show phone line's open. Bijan, I do love Bijan here. I do like him here. What's the vote? What's the chat saying here? A lot of Breece Halls. A lot of Kenny Walkers, a lot of Tyreek Hills, a lot of Devontae Adams. I think the chat's mostly said Hill. There's a lot of Tyreek Hill votes. And then there's a lot of Devontae Adams votes. So, do we put Adams at 6, guys? Are you guys comfortable with that? I'm not going to put the quarterback there because I don't want to. I think you guys are wise to value them there. I just don't know that they need to be drafted there. I'm sorry if that caller was trying to call in. I got the phone line open now. Try again. I would love Mike to call in, though. I would love Mike to call in and tell me why it's a horrible take. I'd love to know why it's a horrible take. I could understand if you had a different opinion on it, but it's not a horrible take because the data 1,000% supports the argument. So it's not a situation where it can be a horrible take. You can say I disagree with the historical data, and I think he's going to be an outlier, and I respect the opinion. I don't think that's a horrible take. I don't know why Mike thinks it's a horrible take to use the data that tells you that 28 years old is the new 30, 31. It just is. It is what it is. What are we doing here, guys?
Well, hey, Smitty, I got something. Derrick Henry, everybody was putting Derrick Henry down saying, oh, he's going to fall off. He's not going to do
yeah,
what he
I was
did
one.
last year.
I was one that didn't. I didn't think Henry.
City.
Yeah, that was me for sure. Let's see if this is Mike. Mike, is this you?
Hey, Smitty.
Yeah, is this Mike?
No, this isn't Mike.
Oh, what's up, man? Who is this? We can barely hear you, bro.
Oh, okay. Let me. Hey.
Go ahead, Mike.
You hear me better?
Or Mike. I want him to be Mike.
Not Mike.
Okay, who is this?
Kuba.
Okay, what can we do for you, pal?
All right.
quarterback, man. Am I picking Jalen Wilson or Zach Moss?
We can't hear you,
I
bro.
just watched JT.
We can't
Am
hear. Am I remote? I can't even hear what he's saying, and he's taking forever. Call back once we clear the lineup, bro. But like slowing the show down to a crawl, bro. Like, okay. So who we going here? Adams?
You see how he got off that Henry real quick?
Yeah, I'm not gonna put Henry here. I don't think the chat's voting Henry anyway, but I understand you guys wanting Henry in the top 10 still. And like I said, I wouldn't call it a horrible take. I would say you think he's an outlier again. I understand it. I'm not gonna be on that. I'm not gonna be on that train this year. But if you think he could be, I don't think it's a horrible take. I just think it's not a take I want to get on board with. Are we going? We can come back. When the chat wants Henry, I'll put him in. Whenever the chat wants him. We got a Kenneth Walker vote, a Saquon vote, a Kelsey vote, a Saquon vote, a Bijan Robinson vote, a Henry vote, a Saquon vote, a Kelsey vote, a Diggs vote. Does it sound like Kelsey to you guys?
I would say Kelsey top 10 for sure, because it gives you that sneaky tight end point structure. You know, you get a good tight end like Kelsey, you're getting points. You always come back around and get a second round running back or, wide receiver. But this guy's like a wide receiver and tight end all in one as far as points.
Okay.
But he's got to fall off eventually. This guy's, how old is he going to be? 31, 32 next year?
Yeah. So it's kind of coming down to Kelsey, Barkley. I think we have enough Kelsey votes to probably put it in. And this is chat geared. We'll go Adams here. I mean, this is crazy. We don't have to go through the whole top 12, but I just want to get a feel for, where we would see, what we would see with these wide receivers. I think early wide receiver in round 1 is going to be very attractive proposition, but there'll still be running backs that command our respect in, like Walker, in the 8, 9, 10, Bijan Robinson in the 8, 9, 10. I personally, if I had to take Bijan in the top 5 overall, I would take Bijan in the top 5 overall. No question about it. But I'm going to try and get away with what I can get away with, which is exactly what everybody should do with quarterback, because I'm going to be pushing for quarterback in round 2 pretty hardcore this year, and it's going to be unpopular. And so while you and Ron are right to value Josh Allen and quarterbacks in the top 5, 6, 7, 8 overall, just be careful not to not take advantage of their ADP, because their ADP won't be there. Maybe we drive it there. It's possible. But
here's what I'm thinking. That one, Smitty. If I take Allen or whatever there, most people that don't listen, that are whatever, they're going to panic and they're going to be like, "Oh, I need to get my quarterback because Allen's gone, so I need to get one of the other 2 that are left."
Maybe.
That's what I'm thinking.
Yeah. We got a caller on hold. Who's this?
Hello?
We got Nate on the phone. Nate, hang tight. Who's the other caller that just said hello?
Oh, that's me.
What's your name?
Eric.
Eric, what can we do for you? Keep it short as you can.
Hey, so I just think that when it comes to wide receivers,
hold on one second.
Devontae Adams.
Hold on one second, Eric. That other caller, you got something in the background, bro. Can you mute the show in the background, or can you go on mute until you're ready?
Oh, yeah, I got it muted right now.
Okay, go ahead. I'm sorry. Continue.
I feel like the value of the running backs and the wide receivers kind of outplay the QBs. And I understand what you're saying, like grabbing Josh Allen very early, which is a smart idea. But I feel like there are other quarterbacks in the league that can produce just as much and that you can pick up later on in the rounds, like Jalen Hurts or Justin Herbert, even though he's not having as good of a year as he did last year.
Yeah, and that's gonna be one of the reasons why people don't draft a quarterback in round 2. That's gonna be some of the reasons. So it's the same reasoning across the board for avoiding quarterbacks. My argument is gonna be that Josh Allen, Mahomes, Jalen Hurts, and Joe Burrow will all command top 24 overall value, meaning that all four of them should be in the second round. But because the industry is so against this idea, and they say exactly what you say, and I'm not calling your stance bad at all. I hope you don't take this the wrong way, but it's such a regurgitated angle that it almost brainwashes the viewers of those shows and those communities, because they hear it over and over and over. And then what happens is everybody follows suit, so that if you do what Ron Navy and The Voice are saying, where you take somebody out of turn, way out of turn, not just a little out of turn, but way out of turn, top 5, top 6, you're not necessarily going to trigger or reverse the mob that's going to wait until round 3 and 4. So the whole thing becomes, are you ruining your own advantage of getting that same player in round 2? If you can't, then maybe you justify the earlier pick. But I would say if you're at number 6 overall, Ron, you're right in the middle of the first round, you're almost guaranteed at this point anyway. Maybe we move some trends and stuff. We'll see, have to see, but I can almost be certain that if we started mock drafting on the regular, you would, outside of our community, you would see one of your top 2 quarterbacks there at that second round pick if you had the 6th pick overall. So it comes down to making sure you are ahead of the curve, ahead of the ADP, drafting a little bit ahead of it so that you get your guy, but you don't panic and screw yourself out of a much better situation of having like Jalen Hurts or Mahomes, and then having the guy at number 6 overall that could be, Kelsey or Hill or whoever you end up deeming to be 6 overall worthy. But to the callers, against the caller's perspective, I would say that you really don't have this advantage of waiting, because we proved it during the season that like there's so many misses in like round 3, let's say, where you took Josh Allen. Josh Allen was not a lock for me in round 3. He was a lock for me if he became the best player available, because best player available rules everything. And best player available is different for you than it's different for me. It doesn't mean who's the highest ranked ADP ranked guy. That's drafting out the ADP like a robot. That's auto drafting. I'm talking about in your mind, you're sitting there in the middle of round 3 and Josh Allen's there and 4 other guys are around him that you don't really believe in. You know they're highly touted by other people, but you don't like them. You think fall off is possible, injury concern, not sure what to make of that situation. I don't like the team build. And Josh Allen's sitting there. Josh Allen becomes the best player available to you. And so me taking Josh Allen there instead of guys I honestly question, and then getting a Kenny Walker late, getting even Damian Pierce dropped off. The examples of what I'm giving you is that situation trumps grabbing a player just because he's a position and then getting your quarterback later. Now, that said, we were big proponents of Joe Burrow and Jalen Hurts in round 6 and 7. And if people landed those, they won their leagues. So there's a happy medium to it. There's times where you don't get the opportunity to draft Josh Allen, but in 1 or 2 out of 8, let's say, leagues. So if you have the opportunity to get him, I don't think you should pass on it because of positional brainwashing that people give you. Take the advantage of getting him when you can. And then we'll have quarterbacks that we target pretty much every round after. So it's like you need to have a happy medium, I think, of early quarterback, late quarterback, middle quarterback. But I do think you won't see Josh Allen, Burrows and Hurts type players in 6 and 7, because that changing of the guard doesn't happen every single year. We might have Trevor Lawrence that lingers a little bit. We might have a couple quarterbacks like Fields that go where Kyler and Lamar might have went. But I don't know that we're going to see anybody that has the impact value that Burrow and Hurts have anywhere near round 6 and 7 this upcoming season. And people are thinking that it's going to happen.
Yeah. I agree with that. And, I mean, you have to think that, your quarterback position is probably going to be the position that gets you the most points out of your other positions. So you have to value what you need to snag early on in the rounds compared to what you can just grab early or later on in the 4th and 5th round. But you also have to think about like the tight end positions. Like there's not that many tight ends that you can really choose from. So you might be more inclined to pick a tight end than a quarterback because there's a lot more options for you there. Which, of course, is like you were saying, it's part of the mainstream. It's part you're following the herd with that. But at the same time, it does kind of make sense to following that.
Yeah, I mean, like imagine going into rounds 1, 2, 3, 4 this year. If you can get Burrow in round, let's say, I have a feeling Burrow is not going to even go in the top of round 2. I think he's going to be like a turn guy. I really don't think you're going to have to take Burrow anywhere near the top or middle of round 2. I think Josh Allen might, for the first time, linger at this turn. Like Ron Navy, I think where you're going to want to snag Josh Allen is in that 11 to 14 range, because I think 14 to 20 is where he might climb to, depending on how he finishes. Now, keep in mind, if Mahomes and Josh Allen don't explode going out, and Hurts don't explode going out and on into the playoffs, everyone's going to remember what they've done for them lately, and we might see these guys fall back to the third round again. It all depends on how they finish,
Yeah, we still got the rest of the season left. 100% agree.
Yeah. Ron, so are you who are you taking first, Hurts or Josh Allen?
Actually, I like Hurts.
I like Hurts too.
Is anybody
Jalen Hurts?
You know what? You're the one that turned me on to Hurts. Because remember earlier on in the season, before the season started, I was anti-Hurts.
Yeah.
You're the one that turned me on to Hurts.
He's a monster, bro. Hey, the voice. Who are your top 3 wide quarterbacks?
Top 3 quarterbacks in this order, real quick, would be Josh Allen, Jalen Hurts, and Mahomes.
Nice. Is Joseph Cigar Smoking Burrow 4 or 5?
I would put Burrows right up there, 4 or 5. I mean, he starts slow, He started slow and then he started heating up. But without Chase, he's a different animal.
Yeah.
He's not as T. Higgins can't support what Chase. Well, Chase is just that generational talent, so to speak.
He's that guy.
And when he and Burrow are on point, they are rough to stop.
Yeah. It's gonna be
it's good.
It's gonna be amazing as they improve the team overall around this core too. They start improving the offensive line year over year, and things will get a lot better. Improving the defense, it all trickles down. Okay, appreciate you, caller, for the question. I'm gonna jump to the next caller. Okay.
All right, have a good one.
Thanks, pal. Okay, that other caller that was on hold. What can we do for you? What's your name, bro?
Name's Nate.
What's up, Nate?
Well, I think the running back one going into next year, Pollard. I think Pollard's going to end up being the overall running back.
Wow.
Bold prediction.
Wow. Yeah, that's bold for sure, bro. I don't think you'll find him in round 1 in ADP data walking in. I mean, maybe that changes or something based on a finish. Again, everything's dependent on how guys finish. Look how good Kenneth Walker was. He was number 2, number 1, number 3, and he tailed off just for a couple games, got hurt, and now we had to force people to mock him into round 1. So if Pollard finishes like a monster, I could see him having round 1 appeal. But if he doesn't, he's going to be a sleeper. He's going to be a second or third round lingering player. But I like the boldness. I love bold takes. I hate when people get mad at people for having a bold take. I especially when I have bold takes and people call them horrible, like Mike did right on here, saying a horrible take. Just because I have a take, how is it horrible? Because Mike, do you know the answer? Do you have the Gray's Book Sports Almanac? Are you friends with Doc Brown? Do you know how to go back into? And do you have a wormhole to Roy's room like I do? Anyway, that's a bold take, bro. I like it. I mean, I like that you're bold. I don't necessarily have him as my number 1, but I love Tony Pollard. You know that.
Hey, Smitty, can I say something real quick on
sure,
that?
The voice,
being a Dallas Cowboy fan.
Yeah.
Being a Cowboy fan is tough. You're crying and you're laughing, but some kind of way you're always left outside of the dance. But this year, they have a chance.
Mm-hmm.
This is our year. But as far as Pollard going number one until they get rid of Zeke, that ain't going to happen. Because Jerry Jones is going to play Zeke Elliott as much as he can. He paid him, and he's going to play him. So Pollard's going to be that split in the backfield type of guy and not getting all the carries. And old Ezekiel Elliott will fall into the end zone and do the eating.
It's possible they move on from Zeke this offseason, though. It's in the cards of in the numbers and everything. There's going to be a lot of talk about it in the offseason. We'll have to see. But if they keep him on the roster, you're right. They'll use both backs. But Zeke will probably break down at some point next year if he continues to go at this rate. So Pollard will be one of those sleeping giant monsters that you can grab. But yeah, there's no way he has a first-round ADP, and I'm not saying that Nick's necessarily predicting that. I want everybody to know he's going bold. He just wants us to know it's on record here. Nick's dropping a doozy, and I respect it. I like it. Obviously, don't agree with that ranking necessarily, but I love Pollard.
I'm not
Pollard up for free agency after this year.
You what?
Isn't Pollard up for free agency next year?
Let me look up his contract real quick. Tony Pollard. Let's see here. Three-year deal, free agent 2023. I don't know if he's a restricted though. Let's see here.
I mean, it'd be dumb to get rid of Pollard. His pure explosiveness as a runner is just too good.
He's an unrestricted free agent. He's an unrestricted free agent in 2023.
Exactly.
Can you imagine where he's going? Where is he going to go? He's not going to go back to Dallas if they're gonna retain Zeke. You're right. Ron. You're right. Where could he go?
There's a lot of places to go.
What if he went to Buffalo? I mean, I don't know if Buffalo's like KC. You think it's the best, but then it's not really. Or it could be. It still could be. Like, look at KC with McKinnon. It could be the best. But, like, they're not utilizing the running back in a way that makes it the best. So, Buffalo, on paper, feels like the best situation. I just don't know if it would end up being. But, man, I mean, Tony Pollard as a starter, a lone starter somewhere. This would be exciting. I don't know.
Anywhere other than Denver.
Oh God! Don't go somewhere where we got a moon man, hibernating.
Yeah, go to.
Yeah. This will be interesting. Pollard, Atlanta.
Eagles.
Yeah. This would be great. Okay, hey, appreciate your call, Nate. You got one last thing?
Yeah, I mean, I have a start pick question.
Okay.
You want to transition to that? Or...
Yeah, hit me with that real quick.
Okay. So Lockett's going to be out this week, and I need to fill that wide receiver 2 spot. I got Lamb locked in at wide receiver 1, but then in terms of the other spot, I have Sutton, Pickens, Paris Campbell, or Elijah Moore. It's pretty thin. Otherwise, I mean, I can go to the waivers and get like Slayton or Matt Collins, Nico Collins.
I don't know, bro.
I don't really trust.
That's really.
I don't trust the KJ Osborne waiver wire. I think he's very hit or miss.
Yeah, I don't know, bro. That's really tough. I'd say Pickens, even though he's been disappointing, as long as he's healthy and on the field and ready to roll, and probably your best option of that core. But I don't know who your third would be. It's kind of a crapshoot at that point. I mean, Slayton's even in the mix for that. Is there anybody else that's on waivers that's more appealing than Slayton? Is KJ Osborne out there for some weird reason and you're not seeing that, or?
Yeah, he is.
There you go.
You like KJ that much, though?
Well, I mean, over the options you just named, he just dropped a monster game. I mean, Ron Navy will tell you he'll go. These are two of Ron Navy's favorite players, Pickens and KJ I mean, yeah, I think KJ deserves to be added and considered. Nate, you got Sutton. Who else? Sutton. Is he even healthy?
Sutton, Pickens, Elijah Moore, Harris Campbell.
Yeah, I mean, why is KJ not in your mind? Why is KJ not worthy of that crew?
Well, I mean, I guess I just saw 16 targets, but I think that's way over, what's projected just because they were down so much.
Yeah, of course it is, but you're not expecting him to get that every week, bro. That's just showing you what his ceiling can be, and that's good news that he's capable of it. I mean, he's had back-to-back weeks with a touchdown. That's more than the crew you have on your current roster can. I would say coming off that.
KJ had a great year at the end of the year last year when Thielen was out. KJ was there. That's what got me so excited about him. That's why I drafted him a bunch. I mean, and I think this last game was a turning point for him because I think he's the reason. He's the one that got them going on their comeback. He was just playing. He was jacking everybody up, and I think he's going to be used a lot more.
Yeah, I would say I don't know what to expect. I'm not feeling like he's a lock to repeat anything closer, or he could have an up and down. He could have a bad game this coming week and have another. Like he's probably still going to be somewhat inconsistent, but of the options you gave me, I feel like he's the best chance because he's currently hot right now. Why not roll with the hot hand versus throw a guy out there like who did you say, Slayton or is Sutton even healthy to play? You know what I mean? Like you didn't have options that were blowing me away, so I would be cautious. I'd be cautious with Cade.
He's got a lot of talent, but he's just not getting the throws to him. He's not getting the rep too. He's not getting the ball. That's the problem with Pickens.
Yeah, Sutton's not even a lock to even play, bro. So I'd grab KJ and just throw him in there for now. I mean, until you figure out what you want to do, but that's a great player to add at least.
Okay. And then Goddard, would you roll with Goddard or I also got Okonkwo?
I mean, Waller
Goddard
scored.
Could be risky.
Yeah, Waller scored his first game back. It's so hard to know what the snap counts are going to be. We're going to have to wait and see if there's any kind of snap count restriction or but for now, I mean, I'll put Okonkwo in there and just keep him in there. And then if you feel really good about Goddard and we have good, I think he's probably top 5 going forward. So I would probably start Goddard, but maybe put Goddard in. And if you get any negative vibes on snap count or restrictions, then you throw Okonkwo in.
Okay.
All right, bro. Appreciate you.
All right, man. Thank you.
Later. All right. I'm gonna let you go, the Voss. I know you probably got things to do. Appreciate you coming on, bro.
No, I'm good.
Oh, okay.
I'm good. I just wanted to mention something. You guys were talking about Okonkwo. Tannehill, isn't he hurt? If they have to rely on Malik Willis throwing the ball, I don't know about that for fantasy football playoff time.
Yeah, Tannehill
He's a beast, but
Tannehill got hurt, came back in, played, and currently the report is on him that there's nothing that's restricting Tannehill from playing in his next contest, but it is something to monitor because he did leave the game, got taped up with the ankle, went back in. So he's expected to play from all indications as of this moment, but it's something to monitor, and that's a good point. We got Isaac on the line. What, Ron?
Because Henry owns Houston. Henry has owned Houston for the last 4 or 5 games, and he always gets like 200 yards. It's going to be Henry's day. So Tannehill's it doesn't matter whether it's Malik Willis or Tannehill.
Yeah,
Henry's going off again.
Isaac, you're on the line here live on the Fantasy Football Show.
What's up, Smitty, Ron Navy, and whomever else is on the line?
The Voss.
Super pumped. What a great show today, man.
Thank you.
I want to go back to the Eckler thing since Mike Brody didn't comment. I mean, that's just such a risky pick. Why would you even go there? I felt the same way about Henry this year.
Yeah.
So I definitely am avoiding Eckler at all costs.
Yeah, look, let me first take a lap on Derrick Henry. I do always tell people there is a chance. Like when I did my almost every time I told you that Henry was a guy I wanted to avoid this year, I said, is there a chance he does it for one more year? Absolutely. Is that chance going against historical data? It absolutely was. And even more so now. So I'm definitely not going to just change my tune because I'm going to go with the data when it's that overwhelming. In 28 years old as a running back, especially one that has an injury history like Eckler, I understand what that guy Mike, I think his name was Mike, I understand what he's saying, that he believes Eckler will be an outlier. I would never call that a horrible take. If Mike was to come in here and say Eckler is going to be the number one running back, I wouldn't say, Mike, you're horrible. It's a horrible take, Mike, because of the data, Mike. Like, Mike can have that opinion, and I'm okay with differing opinions. Look, we play fantasy football here. No one's going to have the same rankings. Even every single one of us on the line right here, there's 4 of us on this line. Every single one of us is going to have a different ranking of the top 5 running backs. Not one of us would have the same ranking, and that's the nature of fantasy football. But when you talk about 28 years old at the running back position, you can't bring up Tomlinson. You can't bring up Elliott even, who's the last of his generation. You can't bring up anybody. Look at Gurley. Look at every other running back is 27 years old. You enter the 27-year season, and that's your one shot. Your one shot, and Henry did it. Henry did it. That's your one shot to do it. At 28 years old, there's nobody that does it anymore. 28 years old when you especially, and here's the catcher, the catch, and the caveat here is that, is there a situation where an older running back can be relevant and still be in the league and all that? Yeah, of course. But when you're talking about a player that is ranking as a top like 1 to 5 running back, a guy that's arguably a guy you take at number 1 overall, number 5 overall, number 4 overall, number 7 overall, they're getting such high volume that they're scoring like a 1 to 7 fantasy football running back. That means their workload is astronomically high, and they rank inside the top 10 in workload and usage. So when you talk about a much lower ranked player, like a 2nd or 3rd round player lingering at 28, 29 years old, that could happen because we're not talking about the same thing. When you're talking about Derrick Henry, who's drafted 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 overall, when you're talking about a player like JT, when you're talking about a player like Todd Gurley, back when Todd Gurley was there, these players are getting volume that actually tell you at this rate, at this age, at that volume, there's just no shot really. The odds are so minute that, and there could be an outlier. That's why if Mike says Eckler is going to be number 1, I'm not calling Mike a moron or saying it's a horrible take like he's doing to me. The data tells you that at 28 with that volume, if you're scoring like a top guy that many years in a row, 28 is it. It's 28 is like being 31 back in the day. If you turn 30, you had a shot. If you are already 31 when the season kicked off, you're done. You're done. And Eckler will be 28. So everybody can ride with Eckler. I understand, and I know that you could say you're wrong on Henry, but I admitted I could have been a year early on him. But I don't think at 28 either one of them can excel. Go ahead, Isaac. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off.
Oh, no, you're good. I mean, ultimately it's a data take, which is completely fair. And honestly, this year, and Schmitty, I didn't find you till after I did my draft this year, but I had an opportunity to take Henry at 2 since CMC was taken at 1. I took Kelsey, and I completely mixed it up because I'd rather not risk halfway through the year, I have no Henry. And next year, maybe no Eckler. So I'm completely passing just due to the risk factor there. But also, I just want to add that they should trade Zeke. I think the Rams is a good fit. Keep Pollard, pay that man. And you guys were touching on taking QBs early. I feel like it's a best-kept secret, especially in this community too. Because some of these guys in here are right. Once you take a quarterback, it starts that domino effect, and everyone starts to freak out. Oh, I got to get my quarterback now. So I feel like we still have slots to fill here. We got to get wide receivers. We got to get a running back or 2, and we can get those guys.
Yeah.
In round 1 and 2, or like you said, Burrow, Mahomes, Hurts, Allen. possibly at the end, on the curve there. So,
Yeah.
but yeah, man.
Appreciate you, man. The Voss, you want to add anything? I certainly, don't mind if you guys disagree with me on here. It's no problem. I understand the takes are going to be different. The Voss, Ron, I know Ron, you love Derrick Henry. I'm sure you will ride with them for one more year, and I respect it.
Yeah, you're spot on.
I've not had all year from the very beginning. But I also said that I saw your point and what you were saying. My gut was Henry was going to be good this year.
Yeah, he was. I knew there was a chance I could be wrong, but I'm willing to take those chances when the data's there, and 8 times out of 10 I'm gonna be right on the numbers on that. But the chances are the odds are so much lower for both of them, Eckler and Henry at 28. It's like. There's no outliers really at that point, but we'll see. All it takes is one. But
here's the funny thing, though, Smitty, and we were spot on. You were spot on with this. All year. We drafted Walker. We drafted Brees. I drafted Henry. If you're going to take a player like Henry, you take other players behind him. Make sure you got a strong, stable running back core of group of running backs. So if one goes down, you have others to go to, because that was the key. Is we drafted Brees, but we also had Walker, we also had ETN, we also had Pierce. We had the other running backs that we drafted. Even though we lost Brees and we lost Javonte, we still were good.
A lot of noise in the background there. Yeah, I hear you. Hey, real quickly, the Voss, you were trying to say something. This is the voice of the show, the intro, our man at the front of every show. Let me play it so everybody knows what I'm talking about. This is what you hear.
Live from the fantasyfootballshow.com.
This is the voice. The voice, did you have anything you wanted to add? I'm sorry that you got cut off there. I didn't mean to interrupt you.
Oh, no problem. What I was saying is everybody has their opinion. Everybody has a strategy. And everybody has a plan. You can't ever say, oh, this will work, that'll work, this will work. There's a strategy to this fantasy football. What I enjoy about being part of this fantasy football show is you allow people to call into the show. No other fantasy football show that I know of, and I listen to a lot. I listen to Sirius XM radio. I listen to a lot. They allow a few people to call in. Smitty, you're one of the first ones that allow people all over the world. Wherever you are, you can call in. You can voice your opinion, and you don't bust the person's about what you let them talk, and you let them express themselves. And naturally, not everybody's going to agree with everybody, but this is one community that I'm going to tell you right now, it's going straight to the moon. Keep doing what you're doing.
Let's go.
And all the little Smitties.
Hey, Terry Roberts.
All the little Smittians out there.
Yeah.
Keep rocking.
Appreciate you, the voice. Terry Roberts brings up a really, I want to talk about this today and I haven't got to it yet, so thank you for reminding me, Terry. But Trevor Lawrence looks phenomenal. This is a top 6 quarterback in the making here. He looks great. And he's got Calvin Ridley next year, and no one's talking about Calvin Ridley. What does Calvin Ridley look like next year? I know he's been out of football a while. We all had this guy pegged as a top 5 to 10 wide receiver in fantasy walking into the year. He just quit football and walked away. But the Jaguars traded for him. He's a forgotten man right now. Does anybody like Calvin Ridley in Jacksonville in 2023?
Oh, yeah. Say goodbye to Marvin Jones.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, man, I think it's a good shot. I mean, I wouldn't draft him extremely high. I hope his ADP doesn't climb into some ridiculous range. I hope he can be had at a value, but you never know. People are gonna probably. I got him in a couple of dynasty leagues, and I've just been hanging on to him, and I hope that it pays off. But it's great. It's crazy to think about what he could become. You know, still young. We'll see. But bro, T-Law is gonna be good. T-Law is gonna be real good. He already is real good. We got another caller on hold here. Rock Out, you still there? I haven't heard Rock Out in forever. Rock Out? Did you fall asleep, bro? He might have fallen asleep.
He's shy.
He's been on hold the whole time. I mean, not hold. He's been one of the panelists the whole time. I don't know where Rock Out is. You're on mute, Rock Out, if you're talking.
It's making up some beat. He's rapping somewhere. He's making up a rap.
Okay. We got a caller on hold. I don't know who you are. You're the only other unknown caller on hold. What can we help you with, and what's your name, bro?
Hey, Smitty, this is Kenvar. I am one win away from the championship game.
Of course you are.
And I could use your suggestion on it's a super flex league, so I need a second quarterback. I have Ryan Tannehill, but I still got Gardner Minshew, and no, that's the only one that's available. And I also need a suggestion on the tight end.
Okay, so you got Minshew and yeah, I mean of the second quarterbacks you're talking about, I think Gardner Minshew is a good one. Who are the other options? Is Purdy available? Tell me T-Law, Trevor Lawrence isn't available. You know, he can't be, but
no, he's
Minshew's
but
good.
I got Russell Wilson is the only other. He's playing Rams. That's the only reason I'm even thinking of him. But Colt McCoy, Tyler Heineke, Andy Dalton, Davis Mills. That's all I got.
If it's me, I'm going Minshew over Russell Wilson. I don't trust Russell Wilson at all, nor do I know how healthy he is right now. He was rocked. I don't think he knew where he was on the field when he got hit. He was absolutely rocked. I would say give Garner the go, just make sure he's playing, obviously, but because he's not for sure locked into playing. Is that snoring? That's Rock Out. He's snoring.
Yeah, he's knocked out. He's
hold
knocked
on. Hold on. Let's listen to it. Hold
on. He's dreaming of fantasy football championships, man.
He's sleeping. Hold on. Rock Out. Wake up.
You need to record it so you can put it in the meme.
Oh, well, we're recording it, right? I mean, it's live. Rock Out's sleeping. Hold on. Let's listen to him sleep a little bit. It's a peaceful sleeper.
Oh man, he needs to be in the sleep a little.
Let's see if we can get him into like some kind of football zone. All right, back to pass. Trevor Lawrence throws it to Calvin Ridley. What an amazing start to the 2023 season. Ridley's got back-to-back touchdowns now in 3 games out of 3 games. Oh, he was caught gambling in the 4th game. He's out for the season. Let's see if we affect his dream. I'm going to ask him what he dreamed of.
His mother's making cookies.
I was kidding when I said, "Are you sleeping?" And
he's knocked out. What's his name? Rock Out. Rock Out is knocked out.
That's amazing. Hey, Kenwar, if you can hear over Rock Out sleeping, Kenwar, what was the other question? I'm sorry.
So, real quick, if I can't get Gardner Minshew, or let's say he doesn't play, is Ryan Tannehill still the preferred option over the other names?
Ryan Tannehill. I don't know.
No.
Rock Out, what do you think? I don't know what. I love this. This is soothing. It kind of calms me to hear Rock Out sleeping in the background. It makes the show so much more. It's better than music. Do I have music playing right now? Let me kill the music. There we go. I think I had the music. Okay, because we don't need music when Rock Out's playing his tune. I'd probably say, bro, name him again. Tannehill and who else?
That's it. Just either Tannehill or I get Minshew. I mean, the other thing,
it's Minshew. You got to get Minshew.
Taylor Heineke, Dawson, and Mills.
Mills is better than that. I'd go Mills. I mean, is he? I don't know. That's really tough. I go Minshew for sure. But then, I don't know. It's tough between Tannehill and Mills. Mills had a good game. He had 2 TDs. He had one running TD. So.
And he's playing Titans. So, yeah, he could be a good option.
Yeah.
All right. And my tight end, I got David Njoku as my backup for Goddard. But now that's Goddard coming back. Shall I plug him in right away or still go Njoku?
I would go. I'd probably go Goddard and then if you hear any kind of limitations or anything, you pull them out.
All right, sounds good. Thank you, Smitty.
Yeah, appreciate you, Kenwar.
Yes,
so I was gonna. What was I gonna go? Where was I going from here?
You need to redo the name of the show and add featuring Rock Out Snoring.
Yeah. He's out, bro.
Yeah, Smitty.
He's out.
Smitty, you can ask him, does he have any sleeper picks for week 16?
Hey, you realize that the most calming voice on the internet put Rock out to sleep just talking? You put him to sleep. You know, he heard the voice from the show and he just fell right asleep like a baby. You soothe him, my guy. Hold on, we got another caller. Let's take this call. You're live on the Fantasy Football Show with Rock Out, the voice, Ron Navy, and myself. You got any questions for Rock Out?
Yes, I do. I got 2 questions actually. Do I start Mike Williams or Godwin at flex? And the second question is Swift or Sanders for my running back.
Godwin or Mike Williams? What do you guys think? And then Swift or Sanders?
I've been burned so many times by Swift. I don't know, man.
Sanders too.
I like Williams.
Mike Williams too. Yeah, all of them. Godwin too. They're all. This is the burn crew. All 4 of them have burned everybody.
They'll torch you. Yeah, they'll torch you more ways than one.
Yeah. I'd probably say Godwin. And I'd probably say, because you got Herbert in the you've got a lot of things to worry about over there, whereas I think Godwin's going to get his targets. But then I'd probably say, what do you guys say at running? I'd probably say they might run a ton with Hurts being hampered. I'd probably go Sanders, but man, Sanders is risky. I'd go Sanders because they're going to run the ball a ton. I think they're gonna try at least. They're gonna try and lean on the run. You know, especially if Hurts is out. But even if Hurts plays, they'll lean on the run. Rock out, snore twice in a row if you think Sanders. Okay, I think that was 2. All right. I hope he doesn't get mad at me and say, "Why didn't you hang up on me?" Because I could technically disconnect, but this is too good. I can't disconnect him. And you know what I mean? Is it wrong of me? Yep. Is it wrong of me not to disconnect him?
No, that's funny.
All right.
Rock out sleeper pick.
For those that are just joining us, Rock Out has been on the whole. He's been on the panel for the last 20 minutes, 30 minutes, and he hasn't said anything. I'm like, Rock Out, you've been awfully quiet, and he's just snoring away. He's just snoring away. I wonder if he's got like the phone next to him, the headset. Like, I wonder what the lay of the land is where Rock Out is. I wonder if is he at the kitchen table? Is he in the lazy boy?
Lazy boy.
Ty Lee's got something to say. He always has something to say about me. Let's see what Ty Lee's saying now. Smitty, it's Lee. It's Ty Lee. Explain to me why you're so high on Minshew versus the Cowboys, question mark, exclamation mark, question mark, exclamation mark, question mark. Come on, man. Well, I mean, Ty Lee, this is a simple case of deductive reasoning. Okay. In the situations where I am high on him, What do you think? What do you think I'm suggesting? That people start Minshew over garbage, or do I start Minshew when you have no other choice and you're hitting the waiver wire, Ty Lee, or you're contemplating Danny Dimes, or you're contemplating this quarterback or that quarterback? People going after Minshew, Ty Lee, aren't in the luxury of the quarterback game. They either whiffed it and didn't have a backup, or they have a really bad backup, or they got 2 players that got hurt and they need a quarterback. Ty Lee, what do you think I'm saying? Start him as a top 5 quarterback? I mean, he's a good play. He's got A.J. Brown. He's got Sanders. He's got Devontae Smith. He's got Goddard coming back. He plays for the Philadelphia Eagles. They have a good defense that could support the pass. What do you want from me, Ty Lee? I don't understand why you disagree with everything I say. Where am I out of line saying to start Minshew over garbage quarterbacks, Ty Lee? Rockout agrees. All right.
So we got Swaggy coming in as Ty Lee tonight.
I guess. I've never seen them in the same room together, so I don't know. Yeah, I'm pretty sick, bro. I got 1 octave left. I got less octaves than Rock Out over here. Rock Out, you there?
Hey, next time you get Rock Out on there, you see to say, "Hey, Rock Out, we're gonna do an impersonation of you," and then we all just start going.
Oh, Rock Out. All right, guys. Anything else? I'm probably going to keep Rock Out on the line. I hope you guys aren't offended by that. But anything else? The voice, appreciate you joining us. Everybody's asking for a voice emoji button. If we have an available spot, because YouTube opens up more emojis as we get more YouTube exclusive members, I'm going to put an emoji for you. What would you like your emoji to be to represent you, the voice of the show?
Doesn't matter, whatever your choice is.
Okay, I'll figure something out. But this is the voice. Appreciate you coming on. Please call in like at least a couple times a week. People love having you on here.
Yeah, I want
to.
What?
The voice is you. I mean, is that what you go by? Is that your handle in the chat?
Nope, he's a mystery. No one knows who he is. We keep it that way.
So you don't go to the chat at all, huh?
Yep. You don't know who he is. You might see him, but he's a mystery.
All right.
I can see Ron Davies used to doing some deep fact-finding missions.
Yeah.
He might have been military intelligence. Never ask the question that you want an answer to. You ask questions that go around what you want, and that person will eventually divulge the information that you want.
Yeah. Hey, you know what I find interesting though? And I know the answer to this, but you guys might think that maybe this is it. Have you ever noticed that Rock Out hasn't talked when the voices talked? Oh wait, there he is.
No, he just snored.
All right, the voice, appreciate you, my guy. Call back anytime, please. Later, pal.
Appreciate it.
At least once a week. All right.
It was a pleasure, the voice. It was good meeting you on here.
Hey,
no doubt, Ron Eddie.
Can you send us out with
you guys make sure to support this show. Everybody that's in the chat and standing by, support the show. It takes 10 seconds to click the thumbs up button. Help Smitty out.
Yeah, we got
this guy's a beast.
Send us out in voice fashion.
Call into the show. Dial 602-635. Hello. That might wake him up.
Appreciate you, man. Later.
Take it easy, Study. You guys take care.
Yeah. I forgot that I have him on here as well. I could have just played this.
Call into the show.
Oh, no, I didn't use him on that. Never mind. My bad. Ron, anything else? You want me to ask Rock Out anything when he wakes up?
Nope. So, no, just everybody wish me luck. I got 4 BB3 teams that made it into the round 3, and then I got 10 other teams in the puppies that made it through. So, wish me luck.
All right, bro. Wish you luck being wished your way. Rock out. Say bye
Later.
to Ron. All right, later, Ron. I sure hope Rock out doesn't get mad at me. We'll keep him here for a second. First year watching Smitty's Unreal content. Appreciate you, Nathan. Appreciate your support, my guy. Rock out went quiet right when we were on Navy left. Maybe Rock out, you there? There he is. Anyway, we'll take a couple more calls. And if anybody has, let me see if I got any super chats lingering. I may or may not have answered everything. I'm sorry if I missed any super chats. Oh God, I think I did miss some super chats. Rock out dropped one earlier. Thank you, James Hendrickson. I'm sorry guys about the delay on these super chats. Blind, are you there? Steven Drakes, Bishop, Joe, Rel, and Chubbs. Can you guys tell me if you're here? I'm so sorry for making you wait on these super chats. We had a crazy show. And I my fault. James says, I'll still be around next year prep. Yeah, but again, remember, I want you to be here during the off season because we're an entertainment show. If you can't tell by now that we're not an entertainment show too, I don't know how to help you. Cause right, Rock out. Star Goddard or Hill. I'm probably going Goddard unless you hear some kind of restrictions or anything like that. Have A.J. Brown and Gardner. Oh, okay. Maybe laying off on Hill, having some risk laid off on using Taysom Hill isn't horrible, but I mean, Goddard's a good play. So I don't know that I could sit Goddard unless there's any sign of restrictions. This one's from Steven. Should I drop Cardinals defense and pick up Browns? You know, I'm in a flow. Like I speak and then I take a break when he snores. I'm like, sometimes there's a little space in between. Or should I hold the Cardinals, drop Elijah Moore or Burks? I'm gonna probably say drop Burks. Let's see. Is there anybody else on hold? Do I got another caller on hold? I don't think I do. So I drop the Cardinals defense and pick up the Browns. Probably. I don't think the Cardinals defense is going to help you there. The offense isn't going to support the defense. It's going to be kind of a mess, I think. So I don't mind that. Blind, I'm so sorry about the wait. Are you still here, Blind? Hopefully you're still here. I have Hertz and $8 Fab. Who should I pick up between Brady, A-Rod, Goff, Minshew, Zach Wilson, or Carr? I'd probably say that, Brady and Goff are pretty close for me. Minshew's not bad too, but I'd probably go Goff. Goff's got the weapons. Detroit's on a mission. They're trying to make waves. And then right here you said Wilson, Carr could possibly snag 2 if needed. So yeah, I'd go Brady and Goff would be the two people that I would grab. Let me get this call here. And then this next super chat. So Blind, appreciate you. I'm so sorry about the wait on that. Blind, are you still here? Appreciate you, my man. Joe, this one's from Joe. Joe says, biggest bust this year at tight end. What's your strategy next year? Biggest bust is probably, Kyle Pitts, drafted him really high. Strategy next year, nothing changes for me. We didn't learn anything about the tight end position. It's just, it was a bad year for tight ends. I think, we won't draft maybe some unproven guys quite as high in the third round. The best rookie tight end to ever come out of call or ever enter the NFL was Pitts. And so I think that lesson learned that it's going to take a little while for rookie tight ends, even if you're as talented as Pitts, unless you have the right quarterback. But yeah, strategy TBA on that one. Hang tight, caller. I'm almost there for you. Rel Super Chat says Pittman, Olave, Zay Jones. You got to go Zay Jones. You can't say Zay Jones right now. What happened? The Super Bowl hangover for Hurts. What about a Super Bowl hangover for Hurts? I don't know, bro. Goat, Smitty, pick Goff, Carr, Watson, Minshew, Purdy. I think Purdy and Goff are really close for me. I would say Goff has the weapons in the mission. They're on a mission, so I'd probably go that direction. Then the last super chat to catch up. Rock Out is answering all the questions. You just have to be able to interpret the Morse code snoring that he's dropping. All right, caller, you're on the line. Who am I talking to?
With me?
Yeah.
Hey, Smitty, how you doing? This is Donnie Bravo.
What's up, Donnie?
Not much, Smitty. Just need help with some start and sit and probably some waiver pickups.
Okay.
Can I tell you my team?
Yeah, go ahead.
So I have Herbert at quarterback, Chubb, Swift, Mike Evans, Olave, Kelsey, Donovan Peoples-Jones, and on my bench I have Pickens, Moore, and Treylon Burks.
DJ Moore?
Chris Moore, sorry.
Okay. All right.
So, and then I had a question regarding waivers. Someone dropped DJ Moore on waivers. I'm just wondering if it's worth picking up and maybe putting him in the starting lineup this week.
Who's your last starter? Donovan Peoples-Jones?
Yeah, I have him in there for now. Okay. I was thinking of putting Treylon Burks in instead if he clears.
I wouldn't. You never know. Trust your gut, and he could have one of those those immediate return to form or games. But he's been playing pretty well. I think Donovan Peoples-Jones probably earned the start. But I look, DJ Moore is even a good play. I understand if you want to pick him up. I'll probably pick him up. I like DJ Moore over Chris Moore. I think the Chris Moore experiment died. So I'll probably go get DJ Moore. Pickens isn't trustable right now. DJ Moore I'd take, yeah. But I don't think you got any dilemmas, to be honest with you.
What about Olave? You think he's worth benching over like Burks or DJ Moore if I'm keeping Donovan Peoples-Jones in?
No. I'd rather have Olave over Burks. I don't trust Burks right now.
Gotcha.
I mean, trust
you
your
mind
gut.
if I also ask you? I'm sorry.
Yeah, trust your gut though. But yeah, go ahead.
I also had a question regarding like the defenses. I had Eagles defense for like the whole year because they were doing so well, but now they're playing the Cowboys. And I was looking at waivers. I have on waivers Broncos and Bucks. Which one would you prefer?
Probably the Bucks. I think they got a good matchup next week, right? So, yeah, probably the Bucks. I don't trust anything Broncos right now, man. They got a good D, but they're so hot and cold all over that I don't know that I believe in the Broncos at all. I don't think I ride on the Broncos at any capacity. But that's me.
Gotcha. Okay, that's all I needed. Thank you so much.
Trust your gut, though, bro. Those are all.
Feel better.
Yeah, those are all real close calls. Appreciate you, man.
Yeah, feel better. All right.
Thanks, Bell. We got Terry Roberts with a $10 hauler. Terry.
To the moon.
Appreciate you with a $10 hauler. It says, Merry Christmas, guys. Love you, Smitty. Rock out. Wake up, pal. Rock out, you still there? Rock out. Rock out. Wake up. Ron Navy with a super chat. Ron Navy says, yeah, Terry Smitty should change names from Roy's room to Rock Out's room. All right, hold on. Rock out. Rock out. Wake up. Appreciate you, Ron Navy. Thank you, Terry, for the super chats. You guys rock. Casio is calling in. Casio, what's up?
What's up, man? How you doing?
I'm good, bro. You're live with Smitty and Rock
I
Out.
hope you. What's up, Rock Out? I know he's having a grand old time in La La Land right now.
Mm-hmm. He still appreciates you.
So if you don't mind, if I can give you my lineup in a second, but I lost my Dynasty League. I started Waddle, but Herbert, Justin Herbert is what lost me, but what are you going to do?
Yeah.
But I'm in contention in my other league, moved on. So just trying to figure out start fits and waiver wire pickups. So
okay.
Is it right if I give you my team?
Yeah, hit me with it real quick.
Okay, I have Cousins at quarterback, James Conner and Pacheco at running backs, Devonta Smith, Jefferson, and then Okonwu at tight end, flex, Mike Williams. I don't have to really give you.
Who's your QB? Who's your QB?
Kirk Cousins.
Okay.
Kirk Cousins and then Tom Brady.
Okay.
And I'm just trying to figure out if I should start paying the Flames to Cousins or start Brady, maybe pick up Minshew, and then
probably
trying to figure out if I should. Okay.
Yeah, I think Cousins is probably. I'm probably gonna let Rock Out go. I don't want to intrude too much into his sleeping. It was funny. He served his purpose, but I don't want to. I'm starting to feel bad now.
Yeah.
Rock Out, we're gonna send you on your way.
Right.
Rock Out.
Thanks, Rock Out.
Sleep well. Sweet dreams, young prince. There he goes. Bye bye, Rock. I hate doing this. I hate also keeping him on, but I also hate letting him go because it's soothing.
Yeah.
All right. I'm gonna wait a second. All right. So Cousins, Connor, Pacheco, Devontae Smith, JJ Okonkwo, Mike Williams. I'm sorry. What was the other question?
I'm just trying to figure out if I should stay in the Flames with Cousins, and then do I bench Pacheco for Rashad White, or try to pick up like Deion Jackson?
I don't think I start Deion Jackson, but Pacheco, Rashad White's pretty close. I think we got to wait till a little later in the week on that one. I'd probably say lean Pacheco for now. He's still getting volume, but it sucks because he's losing some of his work, his running game work. It's not like he's the on the ground between the tackle guy, and McKinnon is only getting that receiving work like he did last week. McKinnon got 10 carries, I believe. Yeah. So I'll probably say for now we'll go Pacheco, but I think we maybe look at Rashad White. Let's play it by ear. Can you bring this to me later in the week?
Okay.
All right, man.
And then if I get one more tight end question, do I start Okonwu, stick with Okonwu, or start Freiermuth against the Raiders?
I go Okonkwo for now. But Freiermuth is I just can't trust him. We don't know what happened to him. We don't really have a good explanation as to whether that's going to happen again. Like, I can't trust him in that situation.
Yeah, exactly. All right, cool.
All right, bro.
Feel better, man.
Yeah, appreciate you. Rockout's been on the line this whole time. I'm going to end the show with him. So we'll end the show with him. I appreciate everybody being here. Thank you for all the super chats. Ron Navy, Terry Roberts, Ron Navy, Chubbs, Rel, Joe, Blind, Steven, Bishop, Hendrickson, Cylon, Rockout, super chatted. Emil, Hendrickson, Michael K, CPA, and Ron Navy. Thank you all for your super chats. You guys absolutely rock. Everybody wish Rock Out sweet dreams, and I will see you all tomorrow or tonight. I'll probably go live tonight. I go live every Tuesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, midnight Eastern. I'm pretty sure I might take the night off depending on how my voice feels, but appreciate you all. I will see you all later. Can we get a round of applause for Rock Out? Best sport in fantasy football, the fantasy football industry. Rock Out's the best sport in fantasy football communities everywhere. This guy, we got Ron Navy dropping a $20 hauler. Ron Navy, appreciate the $20 hauler on the way out the door. Yeah, see you all probably later tonight. Hit that thumb up button on the way out the door, please. Everybody give a Rock Out to the moon. Rock Out is amazing. What a dude.
This is Rock Out, and he's in the building. I be going spit that fire. I be going preaching to your choir, and the Rock Out going to get it on now.
People are getting burrowed left and right, and people are going to remember it.